सहतसवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Namaskar, my dear friend. In this video I am going to explain and describe the quintessence of spiritual practice, that is the Sadhana Panchakam, 5 verses on spiritual practice of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Sri Shankaracharya, the greatest exponent of the Advaita philosophy, has in 5 short verses given the essence of spiritual practice for the benefit of those seekers who are treading the path. There is a story prevalent among a section of the people about the composition of this poem by the Acharya. It is said that some of his close disciples were sitting around him just before his Mahasamadhi. One of them addressed him, "O Bhagwan, you have given to the world voluminous commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutra, as also several Prakarana Granths and Stotras about almost all deities. In the days to come, when men become weak in their understanding and capacity to grasp the real import of the scriptures, aspirant of mediocre intellect treading the spiritual path would find it extremely difficult and almost impossible to read and digest all these words. Kindly, therefore, condescend to give to the world for the help of such spiritual seekers in a nutshell what they should do to attain the summum bonum of life." In reply, the great Acharya is said to have given these 5 short verses known as Sadhana Panchakam, which contain the quintessence of spiritual practice. This beginning verse contains instructions regarding what the aspirant should do while leading his normal life, remaining in his own house. This stage is preparatory to entering the spiritual path, a stage when the aspirant attunes his whole personality, body, organs of sense and action, mind and intellect with the spirit within. Stanza number 1. Vedo nityam dhiyatam padudittam karam sanushritam vinisasya vidhitam pachitti kame matiste jatam tam papudhya pridhuyatam bhavsukhe doso anusandhiyata matmecha व्यवसितां निजग्रह पूर्णे विनर्गम्यताम्. The scriptures referred to here are moksha shastras, that is the scriptures dealing with the subject of moksha, liberation, like the Upanishads, the Gita, the Brahma Sutra, the commentaries thereon, the Prakarana Granthas on the subject, treatises dealing exclusive on liberation, literature on yoga and bhakti, etc. The aspirant should make his selection according to his temperament. Mere reading of the text without diving deep into their meanings and import which always lie hidden in them may not yield full benefit. Not that reading alone is completely useless. It has its own benefits, but reading combined with reflection on the meaning will hasten the progress to a very great extent. The study should be a regular daily routine item of the sadhana. There should not be any interruption. To have a fixed time every day is very beneficial. This item of sadhana is called swadhyaya, which also means study of one's own atma, the self. Let those karmas enjoined in the scriptures be well performed. Scriptures classify karmas into nitya and naimittika, kamya and pratisiddha. Obligatory karmas performed daily and on special occasions, those performed for fulfillment of desires and prohibited sinful ones, leaving out completely the last category of prohibited karmas. The spiritual aspirant is enjoined to perform the other two kinds of karmas. Karmas also may include the daily activities one does for the continuance of his life's journey. Whatever one does, whether ritualistic or secular, should be dedicated to God. The performance of karmas is to be converted into karma yoga, which purifies the mind and prepares the ground for the descent of the divine light. See Tene Sasya Vidhiyatam Apachitpin. Through the practice of karma, let God be worshipped. Dedication of all action together with their fruits to God is the best form of his puja or worship. The ritualistic puja with flowers, fruits, etc. is not excluded. Even that is to be done in the spirit of karma yoga, with the only desire for the final fruit of God realization. D. Kami mati yapyatam. Let the mind be taken away from desire and gendered actions. The next step is to detach the mind from those actions performed for fulfillment of mundane desires. On no account should the spiritual aspirant start a karma with desire to get something worldly. Even sacrifices leading to heavenly worlds are not to be performed with the desire for those worlds. Results of karmas, including heavenly worlds, are only transient and are incapable of yielding eternal peace. Desire for everything except the attainment of the Supreme Atma should be eliminated from the mind. Only a desire-free mind will reflect the Atma. Therefore, the aspirant is directed to avoid all desire engendered actions and to restrict himself to the performance of the obligatory karmas alone, which are generally considered as not productive of any merit, and the non-performance of which would result in sin. But the Acharya is of the view that the obligatory karmas also are productive of results, for they bring about the purification of the mind and prevent sin resulting from their non-performance, and that therefore they should also be performed without attachment either to them or their results. E. Papagha paridhayuttam, let all sins be destroyed. The aspirant is instructed to destroy all sins. This is done either by expiatory rites prescribed in the scriptures or by actual experience of the fruits of the sinful actions. The sins already committed which fructify in the present life can be nullified by these two methods. Further accumulation of sins should be prevented by doing actions without attachment to their fruits and by dedicating them to God. F. Bhava Sukhe, those who Nusadhiyatam, let the aspirant inquire into the defects and imperfections of the pleasures of this transmigratory life. The Acharya exhorts the aspirant after liberation in the beginning stages of his practice to make a thorough investigation into the ephemeral and deceptive nature of the sense pleasure. This investigation, if made following the method prescribed in the scriptures, will convince him of their false, tantalizing nature. Pleasure, supposed to be obtained from objects, is only a titillation of the nerves. All sense pleasures are immediately followed by pain alone. When one is convinced of this fact, one's mind will no longer be attracted by sense pleasures either of this world or the heavenly worlds, and as a result he will be able to pursue his spiritual practice without much hindrance. G. Atmicha vyavasayatam. Let a firm resolve be made to attain the Atma. A burning aspiration to realize the Atma in this very life is an unavoidable desideratum for a spiritual seeker. Spiritual life should not be resorted to as a change from the boredom of stereotyped routine worldly life. It is not like going to hill station to spend the summer vacation. A complete turning away from the sense world is a prerequisite for the dawn of this yearning for liberation, which is called mumukshutva. H part. Nijagrihit Turnam Vinirgamyatam. Let him leave his own house immediately. A sincere student of the university finds hostel life more conducive than a life in his own home for his studies, because in the former he is able to spend more time for studies in a favorable atmosphere with the colleagues and professors. In his own home, the student is In his own home, the student is beset with so many distractions which act as obstacles in the execution of his college studies. Even so, to the neophyte treading the spiritual path, living away from his own house will greatly help him to avoid distractions. For a spiritual seeker, obstacles in the form of temptations in the house are 1,000 times greater than those of a student. Hence, renunciation of one's own home and one's kith and kin is insisted on for a seeker during this period of sadhana. Verse number 2. Sangam Satsu Vidhyetam Bhagavato Bhakti Dridhadhyetam Shantadihi Prichiyatam Dridtaram Karmashu Sante Jatam Sadvidanu Satpriyatam Pratidinam Tatpaduka Sevityam Brahmahi Aksar Marthyatam Shruti Shruvakyam Samakarnayatam. This verse contains instructions about what the seeker should do after leaving the house till he gets himself initiated by his own guru. A part. Sangaha Satsu Vidyatam. Let him resort to Satsanga, company of the wise. One of the most helpful sadhanas for a spiritual aspirant is contact with the wise, the Srotriya Brahmanishthas, those who are well versed in the scriptures and always fixed in Brahmic consciousness. Sat means existence absolute, which is also consciousness absolute and bliss absolute. Satsanga therefore would mean keeping the mind always in one's own Atma. It also means the company of the learned saints and sages, because their company would always be conducive to keep the mind away from worldly thoughts and absorbed in thoughts about God. B. Bhagavato Bhaktir Drida Dhyetam. Let him have unswerving and firm devotion to God. This is a natural consequence This is a natural consequence that follows satsanga. Company of great saints will kindle the fire of devotion to God as omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent being, the instrumental and material cause of creation, preservation, and destruction of the universe. The aspirant should have Shraddha, complete, unflinching faith in God, so that his ego may get thinned out to everything, including success in his spiritual practice. He now depends on God and God alone. The Acharya in his Viveka Chudamani defines bhakti devotion as seeking at one's real nature, Savasvarupa Anusandhanam, and Sri Sandilya in his Bhakti Sutras define this world as a extreme attachment to Ishvara, the Lord, or a little lip reflection one understands that there is not much difference between the two definitions. C part Santhyaabhi Prichyatam Dhridram. Let the qualities like Shanti, Dhyanti, etc. be practiced firmly. The aspirant is exhorted to possess the Satsampat, which includes Sama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhana, tranquility of mind, self-restraint or control of the senses, cessation from all worldly activities, fortitude or power of endurance, faith in God, Guru, the scripture and Atma, and concentration of one pointedness of mind on the Atma. D part. Karmasu Santyajyatam. Let him renounce all karmas immediately. The aspirant who has been following the above said instructions for a pretty long time without interruption is now instructed to renounce all karmas. A full-time aspirant who has already left his own home and has been engaging in the study of scriptures, doing the obligatory karmas, worshipping God with devotion, attending satsangas, practicing the Shat Sampat with earnest aspiration for liberation, and who is well advanced in these practices is now instructed to renounce all karmas so that he may become qualified to take the next great step forward in his march, which marks a definite turning point in his life. The question of renunciation of all karmas is a very intricate one about which there is difference of opinion among the several schools of philosophy. Lord Krishna, in his immortal song, the Bhagavad Gita, has classified the position. The 18th chapter opens with Arjuna's question about the truth of sannyasa and tyaga, renunciation of all karmas and abandonment of fruits of karmas, and the Lord's reply thereto is contained in the next 11 verses. These verses admit of different interpretations, and hence the Acharya in his commentary on them has given his view best suited to spiritual sadhakas, especially those following the path of knowledge, Jnana Marga. The spiritual aspirant, according to the Acharya, should perform their allotted karmas without desire for their fruit. What is to be renounced by them is attachment to karma as well as its result. Inaction on the part of the aspirant is discouraged completely. E part Sadvidam Upasarpagyatam. Let him approach a wise sage. The next step in the aspirant's march should be to approach a proper preceptor. Till now, he has been practicing the sadhana enumerated above with the help of the scriptures and company of the wise in general, and as a result, he is now possessed of the sadhana chatushtaya, the four unavoidable. Till now, he has been practicing the sadhana enumerated above, with the help of the scriptures and the company of the wise in general, and as a result he is now possessed of the sadhana chatushtaya, the four unavoidable qualifications of a spiritual aspirant, with discrimination between the real and the unreal, dispassion or absence of desire for the pleasures of this world as well as the heavenly worlds. The six items referred to in number 2 see above, and an earnest aspiration for liberation from the cycle of metapsychosis. He has now become qualified to approach his guru. The Acharya indirectly hints that one who goes to a guru for initiation before acquiring all the above said qualifications will have to face only disappointment. Part F. Pratidinam Tatpaduka Sevyatam. Let him adore his sandals fit daily. Having approached the Guru, what should the aspirant do? This is laid down in the half line of the second verse. Let the aspirant serve the Guru daily till the Guru is pleased with him. The service of one's own Guru is the most important sadhana which prepares the disciple to receive initiation. It is a colossal misunderstanding that prevails among some that the service of one's Guru is insisted on for the benefit of the Guru. We worship God for our good and for our prosperity and spiritual evolution. God is not in any way profited by our worship, nor does he lose anything by our not worshipping him. Similar is the case with the Guru, whose worship and adoration help the aspirant to liquidate his sanskaras lying buried in the depths of his mind in the subconscious and unconscious levels. The scriptures are full of lives of spiritual sadhakas like Satyakama, Javala, Indra, etc., referred to in the Chandogya Upanishad, who were tested very severely by their gurus before giving initiation. The severity of the test will depend upon the past sins of the disciple which have to be liquidated. The disciple who comes out successful in those tests alone is fully qualified to get himself initiated into the mysteries of the Supreme Being. Part G. Brahma Kekasram Arthyatam. Let him inquire about the one indestructible Brahma. When the Guru is pleased with the service of the disciple, the latter should with great humility inquire about the means of liberation from the bondage of this mundane life. He should pray to the Guru for being instructed about the Atma Brahma. The relationship between Guru and Shishya, spiritual preceptor and the disciple, is a mysterious and unique one. The disciple should free his mind of all prejudices and preconceived ideas about his learning and achievements. He should unlearn, as it were, all that he has learnt so far and await the instruction from the Guru. The pot should be emptied before being dipped into the river to take water. Even so, the disciple should empty his mind before sitting at the lotus feet of the Guru to receive the initiation. Part H. Shruti Shru Vakyam Samkarniyatam. Let him hear with full faith and devotion the Mahavakyas, which are the quintessence of the Vedas. To the qualified disciple who has thus approached him and who has his mind purified through service of his feet for sufficiently long period, the Guru gives the sannyasa diksha and initiation into the Mahavakyas, the great sentences or dicta of the Upanishads, which through their implied meaning establish the Atma Brahma identity. There are several Mahavakyas in the Upanishads, of which four are considered to be the prominent ones. They are Prajanam Brahma in the Aitreya Upanishad of the Rig Veda, Aham Brahmasmi in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Yajurveda, Tattavamasi in the Chandogya Upanishad of the Samaveda, and Ayam Atma Dharma in the Mandukya Upanishad of the Atharva Veda. The sadhaka is now a Vividesha sannyasin, a monk engaging himself whole time in deep reflection and profound meditation, being possessed of the sadhana chatushtaya and having undergone the preliminary practices detailed above, he is able to live off the literal meaning of these Mahavakyas and grasp their implied meaning through the Zahad Adahati Lakshana. This is called Sarvana hearing. Mere hearing of the Vedic dicta will have no effect on one who is not properly qualified and duly initiated. Sarvana is hearing from his own guru of the Mahavakya by a qualified aspirant with understanding of its import. So, two stanzas are included in the first video, and the rest three will be dealt with other videos, one or two more videos on this Sadhaka Panchaka. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot. Namaskar my dear.